This is Corey.
And I'm Sharonda.
And this is Until Forever. It's the relationship podcast where we don't claim to be experts or gurus or anything like that. I don't have a PhD. She's close.
Not really. No.
Kinda. She's smart. She knows stuff.
Oh my goodness.
And we just want to help you. We want to help somebody. We want you guys to help us. Especially with this episode.
Oof.
What are we talking about today?
Raising kids.
Wait, you're going too fast. First of all, this is how you can find us. We got the information is going to be on the screen. Please like, share, follow. Go to our page, our YouTube channel, Facebook. Like us, comment, give us some conversations. We want to talk to you because, dialogue is awesome and that's how you learn and you grow. Is that right?
Amen.
Okay. She said amen. Normally that's me. She churchy today. She got her little church, color purple church hat on.
Oh my God.
She won the church like in the olden days. We're going to bring a piano across the river bed. Hallelujah. Remember that?
Yes.
Have you seen that movie?
We're not going there.
Okay. So, we're going to... we got this little running joke thing. She hasn't seen The Color Purple like I've seen it. See how I cleaned that up? You ain't seen it like I've seen it.
You mean for the first time as an adult? No.
Okay. So, that means I understand it different than how
Oh
she
my
understands.
gosh.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, so we're talking about raising kids in 2022.
First of all, why your mama got you watching Color Purple?
I could
Let's
only
think about
watch
that.
certain parts when I was a child. Then you watch it again as a teenager. Then when you watch it as an adult, it's just even more hilarious because you pick up on all these things that you didn't realize.
My mother was protecting my eye gates.
Really? Because you were up watching MTV in the middle of the night.
My eye gates.
Nothing against my mother-in-law at all. It's him.
She was protecting my eye gates.
Up watching MTV and Nick at Night and all the things.
Nick at Night wasn't bad. Was it?
MTV was.
We're not talking about MTV. No, what was bad was that BET Uncut. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh
Fellas, you know what I'm talking. Well, you know.
Okay, let's get back on topic.
This is on topic because we're talking about raising children. Regardless of whether you're married, single parenting, or in the house trying to figure it out, or blended. Remember that? We are, what did he say? We are what? We are blending or something. I forget what it was funny, boy. That's a funny movie. If you haven't seen Blended, go watch it. Is that what it's called?
Yes, with
Adam Sandler. Yep,
and
that was good.
Drew Barrymore.
So we're in the same vein talking about raising children in 2022 because my God, today, recent news, I'm sure you've heard about the senseless killing of so many young children over 20 that happened in Texas by another child. He was only 18 years old. And, it just, everybody wants to point their fingers at gun violence. And I don't want to get political on the relationship podcast. I don't care how many laws and rules you pass. If somebody wants a gun, they're going to get a gun. It's just that simple. And, ease of access, all that, whatever. If it boils down to really parenting and, doing the best that you can to raise upstanding citizens. That's easy to say. But my God, it's hard to navigate in today's climate. What do you think is one of the biggest...
I don't think it was ever easy. I think it's just become more challenging because information is just at the ease of your fingertips now.
Oh my goodness.
There are so many things that our parents and their parents could protect them from because they didn't have easy access to certain things. And now, your 2-year-old can happen upon a video on YouTube and you just try to figure out how they got there. So, yeah.
And please watch that. Please, if you're one of those that just gives your child the tablet or the phone.
Or your phone,
and they're on YouTube. Because it'll start out,
harmless.
Baby shark do 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 do. But next thing you know, they watching The Purge, and you like, how did you get there?
Oh my gosh!
How did you get there?
But we have had those moments where it's like you put all the restrictions on there, and then it's like somehow it's the sound of what you think it's okay for them to hear with the vision of something that you do not want them to watch.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly, and it happens all the
All
time.
the time.
There are perverted individuals out there who want to plague the minds of children. So they use the bait of Happy Bunny Rabbit and start feeding their minds with. So I mean, you could believe in God or not believe him, however you want to do it. You know, however you want to do it. The proof is in the pudding that they're trying to put stuff in your child through these videos. Not to get so deep, sorry, but the point that we want to talk about in this episode is communicating with your child, and how it looks, how it looked to us growing up, and how we try to make it look with our kids. And we want to hear from you, as always. Tell us how you try to make that look with your children or child. But you know, growing up with me, and you tell me if this was the same or different for you. Growing up for me, we were told what to do, when to do it, how to do it. If we didn't like it, we better not say we don't like it. We have to deal with it. You take whatever negative feelings and opinions you have, and you keep those things bottled up. You never express. If my daddy saw that I had an attitude, he whooped it out of me. Like, I was not allowed to be mad. Isn't that something? I wasn't allowed to be upset that I gotta clean the garage again. Like, what you mean? I didn't do that. Well, I gotta clean it. You know, I wasn't allowed to have those feelings, yet alone express those feelings. So I grew up, you know, learning, and I'm sure that wasn't the goal, but I grew up learning how to bottle up my feelings and emotions. When I'm upset, just you can't show it. They can't see you mad. If I'm crying, I better man up and not, you know, be a baby. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it was for me. Not that I had terrible parents, but that's all, especially my father, that's all he knew. That's how he was raised. So he was just, you know, reciprocating. What about you? You're so pretty. You were so pretty growing up. I bet you just woke up and the birds were chirping, and the windows just rolled up by themselves, and they flew in, and they did the thing with your hair. Cinderella, right?
No.
Oh.
No. I don't know. I mean, Corey doesn't believe me, but I really didn't get in trouble like that. Like, if I got in trouble, it was for something that I deserved to get in trouble for.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear about one of those times.
I definitely signed my dad's signature on a progress report before. His signature was easier to copy than my mom's, so. But, you know, you think you got away with it, and then when it's time for parent-teacher conferences, my dad's the one signing all the progress reports, but he's not the one in the classroom concerned about my grades. So, teacher picked up on that. You know, mm-hmm. Was like, "Don't you want to talk to Sharonda's science teacher?" So yeah, I got in trouble for that. But I don't know. I think just in general, more so, you know, like my parents just trying to make sure like they kept us around the right crowd. Not easy access to cable and things like that. And watching what we watched, what we listened to, who we hung around, where we went. So yeah, I definitely probably felt like my parents were more strict than they needed to be as a child. But by the time I was like 22, I realized why they had those rules, because you started realizing like where other people are, where they were in their life at that time. It was like, oh, this is why my parents had the rules that they had, because if they didn't have those rules, then I probably could have ended up like that person or that person who got to do whatever they wanted to do and go wherever they wanted to go. And so, I don't know. I'm sure that my parents had the rules that they had because of things that they experienced or saw going on, you know, with other families around us. So, yeah.
So, I mean, let me ask you this. Were you given space to
express myself?
Express how you feel about stuff?
No. And honestly, not that she's able to defend herself, but there are 4 of us. My parents had 4 children. And between myself, I'm the oldest and the youngest, we're 8 years apart between me and the youngest. And so just to know how my parents were with me, and then to come back around when she was like high school, college age, and see how she interacted with my parents, it was like she got to have a little bit more freedom in expressing herself. And it was just kind of like, wait a second, you gonna let her talk to you like that? Like, she gets to say exactly what her inside reaction is out loud. Because, yeah, it was definitely like, do you have a problem? What's the problem? Or fix your face. You know, things like that.
Oh my God,
fix your face. So yeah, no, I definitely didn't have the freedom to express myself, and I think it's just a cultural thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, growing up in an African American home, you know, you don't really get to freely express yourself. And I mean, I have friends that were other races but you know, in high school, it was mostly Hispanic kids or African American kids, a few Caucasian kids. I went to a private school, Catholic school, for high school. And just to, like, see the differences culturally, it seemed like the minorities, like African Americans and Hispanics, like, we had, like, a different outlook on what our responsibilities were and what we needed to do and what we were allowed to say and do versus the Caucasian girls that were at my school. So, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy that you mean, because it is, I think, the culture thing has a lot to do with it. Because if we go back into, you know, to generations into our culture, we know that, you know, our grandparents and great grandparents, they had a strength to them where you could just do them dirty and do them wrong, and they could just grin and bear it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, think about it. All of our grandparents, between Corey and I, all of our grandparents grew up in a Southern culture where it's put your head down and work hard and just take what you can get. And then, you know, just think, I was able to meet two of my great grandparents, and yeah, pretty much just, you know, for them to have a home that they paid for and things like that, like, that was an achievement, but it didn't come easy. And, you know, just not that far removed generationally from slavery, because my grandmother on my mom's side and her mother were sharecroppers. And so, yeah, it's just, and I did a video months ago on my Instagram and Facebook stories about how I found out my grandmother on my mom's side actually grew up in a town less than 20 miles away from where Emmett Till was found. So, you know, and she was 13. Well, he was 13 when he died, I think. So she was like 8 or 10 when he died. So, yeah. I mean, just to put in perspective, the time period that they grew up in and what they probably learned to do, and then how they thought they were making a better life for their children, which are our parents, and then our parents raising us, you know, like, and so in this day and age, we hear a lot about mental health, especially with COVID, exposing, you know, like, a lot of mental health issues and how that was detrimental, like isolating yourselves for safety of your health, and it wasn't really the best thing for our mental health. And then you think about your kids and being free to express themselves. You know, it's a different age now.
Yeah, and just to kind of tie that in there, like, because my great grandfather was a Pullman porter. I didn't know much about him, and if you'd have told me that 10 years ago, I'd have been like, "What is that?" But like, it's just, you know, we aren't that far removed from generations where it was keep your head down and go. Like, even now, I see a difference between myself on my job and my coworkers, you know, because I have this attitude where, you know, I thank God I got a job, bro. I got it. You could do what you want. If it gets harder for me, I just push and I'm gonna deal with it. You know what I mean? While my coworkers, some of them are more so like it's gonna be like this, and this is I demand this, and you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna tell my supervisor how. What you mean? How you feel? Tell your
Yeah.
super how you
Yeah.
feel.
And that's a good point, because realizing that these are the adults we're creating.
Yeah.
Like, are you afraid to stand up for yourself, or do you kind of, shrink back?
Yes.
Or are you just like, no, I'm gonna speak my mind?
And that's the point. So where
do you draw
balance?
the line? Yeah.
Not just the line. Where's the balance? Because yes, there you do have to have a part of you that says, I am in this position. This is my superior. I listen. I do what I'm told to do. But then you also have to have that part of you where it's like, I'm standing up for myself. This is wrong. You shouldn't be doing it like this. And that part of you that that speaks out. Like our generations before us, that part was non-existent because
not for everybody, but then it came with consequences.
But right, so for the smart thing to do was to just be quiet, keep your head down, and just deal with the mess and the stuff. So when you deal with that generationally, and that's what your grandparents did, and then that's what your parents did, and then here we are, we're in your 30s and 40s, and we got a little bark in us, you know what I mean? But we're still in that weird stage where, what do I communicate? What do I not communicate? Oh, I can actually say that and not be fired, like, and it's like, so now how do I make sure my kids grow up to where they don't get walked on and think it's cool and have to keep their head down, but at the same time they're not entitled to where they feel like everything should be the way that they want it.
Right. Oh gosh, yeah. Because even today, I immediately had a thought like, oh my gosh, they're so spoiled.
Oh Jesus.
Because we try to let them voice their opinions and, say, I do like that, I don't like that, I eat that, I don't want to eat that, please try this, okay, well, we'll try that. And then it becomes like they just have like this audacity, like entitlement, like, what do you mean? And so we have to like calmly explain to them, like, listen, this is what it is, and you're not gonna always get your way, and that's just how life is gonna work sometimes.
And we really struggle to find that balance. And if anybody is great at it, man, please send us a message and let us know.
A book, a podcast,
what do
something.
you do? An instructional manual. I was talking to my cousin today, and we were really, and that's really what brought on this episode. And we were just thinking about how, when it comes to raising kids, how much do you allow them to stretch, and then when do you put that reminder that, hey, now at the end of the day, what I say is what I say, and that's what I mean. You know what I mean? Because for me growing up, like we said earlier, I wasn't allowed to really express without it being seen as me having an attitude. So now I'm growing up thinking that every time I feel disgruntled or upset, that I'm wrong. Like, that's what you're doing when you are punishing a natural feeling. Like, it's natural for someone to be upset. It's natural for your child to be mad that you took a toy away from them. So when that anger is coming out, for you to then punish the anger, what you're doing is you're showing that child, hey, that's unnatural for you to be angry. So,
or your emotional experience is not valid.
Right. So then they get to where they're 30, 40 years old and in a bad relationship because they don't know how to express themselves appropriately. It's because they never learned it as a child. So now they're in an adult age trying to maneuver all of these emotions and these feelings that they were never allowed to express as a child. This does not mean let your child run all over you, but there has to be, I think, a balance. And we're very imperfect, but I think we're getting there. We've tried to figure out how to, because some of our children, Lord have mercy, I wish we kept a camera rolling Because that little one, that
Our
little
5-year-old walks away doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like, the first time she did it, I was like, what?
Do I go to sleep?
And then the next few times, I was just like, it's not even worth the battle. Like, she thinks she's watching me, I'm watching her. And so, yeah. Yeah.
She is something else. It's like she's not entitled, but when she's upset about something, this is what she does that is really good, but at the same time,
and this is
it's borderline discipline.
No merit of our work. It's the school.
Yeah.
The school experience from her.
But it's borderline disrespectful. So like we'll fuss at her about something. Mostly Sharonda, because I don't fuss. We fuss at her about something, and
you do fuss.
I do. I fuss. So we'll fuss. It's a difference though. She fusses. She means it. She'll go to bed and she'll go to sleep like this, just happy as she can.
I'm not happy.
If I fuss, I'm like 5 minutes later, I'm in the room like hugging her and stuff. Like, it's cool, Daddy. Just you gotta get it together. I didn't mean to be mean.
So when
I am. I'm sorry. That's my soft spot, my babies. Anyway, it don't mean I love them more or nothing.
Oh God.
That's just us. So, and y'all probably different. Anyway, so this is what she does. If we upset her for any reason, she'll be mad. She'll storm off. She'll get her crayons. How you say it?
Crayons.
Whatever.
And somebody just laughed. I know they did.
Well, no, they didn't.
Get her crayons.
Because they know how you say it.
Crayons.
Okay, she got her Crayolas.
Thank you.
And we had a whole debate about it. Anyway, and she draws a picture. And this picture is a depiction of how she feels. First time, it just totally blew me away. Kirsten did it too one time. But hers was like a letter. And she was like, you made me sad. You don't love me. And I'm like, you old. First I was like.
Very dramatic.
I was like, oh my God, is she serious? But then I was like, you not finna manipulate me with your trickery. You don't feel that way for me. You know I love you. But it's like I encourage it because they are expressing how they feel. But there's a point where it's like, I told you to clean your room. You didn't clean your room, so you got in trouble. Don't be trying to express yourself like, lightweight getting smart, like you in the right. You should have cleaned your darn room. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of them because they do express themselves, and I feel like we do leave them room to. I wish I would have drew a picture and gave it to my daddy. Talk about this, how you made me feel.
She used to say, you are making me angry, or you're making me sad.
She does, yeah. You're making me sad. I'm telling you, do something to you. You'll want to just give her money and just give her all your credit cards. No. That's what she do, man. It does it too.
No, but I am proud of them for being able to express themselves. Caleb, not so much. He's still sorting through how to express himself. He
needs help unpacking, and that's another thing I think we do well. We know our children, and we know how to deal with them.
Yeah, they
not
all
how
can
to discipline
be done the same way.
Right, not how to discipline them, which we can do that too. But we know how to deal with them. Caleb, you got to sit down and go through what happened with him. Like, he needs help unpacking it, and then he'll be able to tell you how he feels, and how to. Then you can kind of help him maneuver and deal with the anger that he's feeling or whatnot. I used to tell him, punch a pillow, and then I realized I probably shouldn't have just said that and walked away, because I think the next couple of times he was mad, all I heard was pop, 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 and he's. I'm like, wait a minute, he's gonna be a monster in a minute. He's gonna go Super Saiyan. I need to talk to my son and make sure he understands that you just have to have a way to deal with the anger. You don't just destroy stuff, but you have to deal with it constructively so that you grow from it. And why are you angry? What caused it? what did you do that you could have done differently? You know what I mean? So we talk through it. But bottom line is, when raising children in 2022, we have to be more attentive. We have to be we have to notice these things. We have to talk to them. You can't tell me as a parent you don't know your child is capable of unloading on the classroom full of kids. Now, there had to be a red flag or two. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. I just know you can look at a child and be like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. We need to pray for that. Where their parents at? You know what I mean? It's a touchy situation. You can't tell them how to raise their kids, but
I don't know, and it's the other side of. I just don't blame it on the parenting personally, because I know there are parents who have taught their children ways that are respectful and true character, points and things like that, and morals, and they still end up doing. You know, we have free will. They end up doing whatever they want.
That is so true. That is so true.
So yeah, definitely doing a lot of praying over here though.
Please do. I'm praying for your kids. You praying for mine?
What? We have the same kids.
No, I was asking them,
and
then I was looking at you to see if you were asking them with me.
Oh. I was saying we're definitely doing a lot of praying.
Okay. So, we hope that you are blessed and your family is blessed. We hope that if you are in this thing by yourself and you're raising kids by yourself, that you are blessed with all the strength and patience that you need to be to effectively play both mommy and daddy in that household. If you're co-parenting, my Lord, I pray for your strength. I pray that you're able to effectively co-parent and raise the best children that you can raise. It is not easy.
Yeah. Hopefully we said some things that just let you know, like, you're not crazy. Like, because we are going through the same things. Like, we're going through it too. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Is there anything you would like to say before we leave?
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Until Forever podcast.
So, it's her fault that we end the episodes like this, because she said that I can't just end regular type, like, I can't just end the episode. But she doesn't understand that when she said that, she challenged me to be as goofy as I could possibly be.
In the episode one time.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good morning.
We don't know when they're watching this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe and follow.
I don't care when they watch it. I'm going to bed.
Okay.
It could be morning.
Okay.
All right. You can give me a kiss?
We're still recording.
I know. Kiss me while we're recording.
No.
Kiss me while they watching on their phone.
Okay.
Is that how the song goes?